What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back and it's almost springtime. No, it actually is springtime officially here in PA, which is super exciting. And it's about 27 degrees outside, so springtime, we'll put it in air quotes. But we do have the KX out here today, and as you can see by the title, it is indeed technically, okay, this isn't clickbait, but as you know, I actually found this and bought this bike off of my friend. It was actually sitting in my friend's barn for the past couple of years, and I'm going to throw a picture up right now. You can kind of see it's not in rough shape or anything, but it was just like kind of pulling out a gem in the middle of just everything. So it's kind of funny. So we're going to call it the BARNFIND KX build, but it's definitely going to need some love. It's been sitting for quite some time, and you know, it's going to need a lot of stuff. Nothing crazy over the top, but we'll go around it real quick. And then we're actually going to be on our way to go to David's house. He actually has a box of parts that go with this bike, and I told him just to hang on to them until springtime comes around. So we're going to see kind of what we have already to work with and what we really need to buy. So let's go over the bike, and then we'll kind of talk about what our plans are real quick. So technically this is going to be part one. We're going to call it the overview of the KX build. So I think that's what the title of this video is going to be. It has a nice ring to it. So welcome to the BARNFIND Kx250f build. So let's get into the overview. It's a super low hour bike. It's got an hour meter on here. Let's show what the hour meter's reading. 68.3 hours on it. It is a 2013 Kx250f, obviously, and he actually had it when he first bought it, taken to a guy here, Jeff at MPR. Got the suspension all redone, front and rear, which we're going to take it to our guy at Podium Works, get it all looked over again, put some new heavier springs in there probably, and get that looked out. As far as the engine goes on this thing, it's pretty sound still, so hopefully we won't have to touch it for a while. I think the valves were shimmed and everything when he got the bike, but other than that, it really doesn't have anything done to it other than the suspension. I mean, we have thankfully already an exhaust on here. It's got the FMF header and the 4.1 slip-on on the back, which is super nice. That's one less thing I have to buy, which I'm really happy. I always like having stuff that have pipes on it already that aren't beat up, especially. But other than that, you know, we're gonna have to run a bunch of new stuff on this thing because some of it's bent, some of it's worn out, and we're just gonna make it look fresh. Take it all apart, grease everything. I'm sure nothing's been greased in a long time, so that's always step one when you're buying a new dirt bike off of someone, is definitely you want to strip it down and get to the bottom of things, how they look. That way when you're at the track, you don't have to worry about everything because you know it's all done. My intentions with this bike, from what I learned from the YZ before, is we're kind of going to work our way from the bottom up on this thing. You know, before with the two-stroke YZ that we just did last year, I kind of just got everything, and it was really overwhelming to try and figure out where we wanted to start and what we wanted to do. And it just didn't make for good content series because I just had everything there already. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to start literally from the bottom and work our way back, forward, and up, kind of, okay? So obviously step number one, we're kind of debating getting new wheels for this thing. They're not in terrible shape, but I've always enjoyed Kawasaki's with some colored hubs, so I'm debating on new wheels for it. But obviously if we don't get the wheels, tires are number one. You know, we're going to get rid of these things. David put a brand spanking new Dunlop on here last year, I think. So we might not have to buy a new back tire, but I actually just got a deal with about 6 used tires that came from a shop owner that had some riders, and they're just takeoffs from a couple races. So I'm hooked up on some tires for a while, so if we need them, we'll toss them on. So step number one, obviously going to be our tires. Work our way up. It's going to need a new chain, new sprockets, new chain guide. Going to need probably that little plastic piece, this little chain guide here. We have that on the way actually as we speak. Fork seals and everything are pretty good. There's a little residue on it, but not bad. But like I said, we're gonna take this to Podium Works, have Frank look it over and get it all tuned up. Number two thing, bars are absolutely shot. The clutch pull on this thing's super tight, so that's all gonna need taken apart and greased and lubed. Probably get a new clutch cable on it so it's fresh. We're gonna try out rental bars again this year. On this thing, I've actually always just ran Pro Taper Evos, but we're going to try out the rental flat bar this time. Heard really good things about them, and I just want to try out some new bar bends. So we're going to try out the rental flat bar. As you can see, no front brake lever, so obviously we're going to need some new levers on here. I'm not too sure what we're running on that just yet, but we'll figure that out later down the road. Then obviously grips. And might work our way up. The very last thing we're planning on this thing is going to be the plastics, and redo the plastics, and obviously toss some nice graphics on there, which will be provided by 180 Decals. So I'm super excited to have him on board with this. I shot him an email a little while ago about it, and he was super stoked, it sounded like, to be able to work with it. I told him, you know, a very small channel, but any help with this, because obviously we have another bike to build after this one. And I said any help would be greatly appreciated, and he's going to help us out with this bike and get it looking right on the final touches of everything. So I'm super excited. I have a nice big vision for this, and it's going to turn out pretty epic, I think. But really, the bike is a solid foundation. Probably one of the nicest bikes I've bought to kind of start as a project, I would say. Nothing too crazy that's going to be out there. So it's really just aesthetics that we're going to be going for on this thing, just getting the suspension dialed up. Everything else can kind of be cleaned up, like the frame and everything can be cleaned up, just air filter and just simple maintenance stuff, thankfully. So there's nothing really out there. Like the bearings are all, you know, bearings are super tight already in the wheels, the linkage is fine. So there's a lot of stuff that we're not gonna have to buy like we did with the YZ. Like the YZ was super shot in some areas. So we're gonna save some coin in that area, and yeah, enough talking. Let's go right over to David's house and see what kind of parts he has laying around. And I am super stoked for this. Like I said, we're kind of debating on the wheels. So once I get that figured out, if we're gonna buy wheels for this, we're gonna get the wrenching, and it's gonna be part one as soon as we get that figured out. So let's hop in and go for a ride and go to David's house. Yeah. Oh.
Is that it, or is there more? What is that for?
That's that's your rear for your rear coil.
Rear spring? Don't need that. What is that?
These are just old. Our old workers. That's not part of it.
I don't want that in there. You got a box? No, that's fine. I'll just
There actually is a box over here.
Where? Ew.
Just gonna have to deal with it.
Put this back in there. It's wet.
It's been sitting here. This was to mine, I'm pretty sure. That's to that one.
How do you know?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that goes to that one.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure.
How do you... Look at that, Jim. White? Ooh.
It's a white kit.
That's hard.
Yeah, this one was broke when he bought it.
Ah.
Yeah. Might be able to fix it.
Yeah, dude, just throw it all.
I think. I don't know. I'm testing Pirellis out this year.
What?
I'm testing them Pirellis out this year.
What?
Pirelli Scorpions.
Oh.
Extras.
You meaty hoggers.
Extra hard.
What do you, I don't want that.
It's garbage.
Oh. This thing. What is?
450.
Why?
Just needs all new updates, dude.
This guy's getting a brand new one, he's saying.
Freshie to the channel, dude. We need a freshie for this season. That thing's beat. The 450 is 2012. It needs all new brake levers, shift lever, everything. Pegs, shot. Swing arm, shot. Bike, shot. It's time. So, yeah, sub to both channels, guys. Sub.
Go load her up now. Oh, whoa, oh.
Yes, I love it. More stuff. we got all the parts and stuff loaded up in the bed. You probably can't see it right now through the camera. You might be able to see it. They're right there. But there's just some spare parts just to have, just mostly plastics, and the exhaust is in there, which is nice to have a spare exhaust just in case FMF anything happens with it. But yeah, it's just a bunch of plastic and stuff mostly, which I'll take. You never know when you're gonna need it, so pretty nice. But yeah, a lot of this stuff's gonna just be new parts we're gonna buy for the bike. But like I said, it's always nice having some extra stuff laying around if you have it. So I'm super excited. Like I said, we got our first round of parts ordered already. And yeah, we're gonna make our way from smallest of things like tires and sprockets, and we're gonna go all the way up. These bikes should look super mint. I'm super excited. I haven't had a dirt bike project going since last year, and I'm pretty excited to be on a Kawasaki again. And it's making me miss my old 250f Yamaha that I had, the 19. I really wish I would have held on to that bike. I probably should have never got rid of that thing, but you know, all is well. We're back on a bike. We're very grateful to be back on bikes, and yeah, this summer is going to be super sick, and I'm so excited. We got a whole crew to go ride with this year. Everybody's back on dirt bikes now again. It's really exciting. It's kind of like high school days. And yeah, plan on doing a lot of trips to the tracks this year and get back into the zone of things. I went to the track, like I said, a few weeks ago. They actually opened up, which was super nice. It was actually amazing. It was really warm out. Well, it was pretty cold out actually, but riding and everything get pretty warm. But yeah, I took the 125 out, just had a blast, and just no pressure, just having fun, paying homage to the old days of riding. You know, there's a lot of work I have to put in to get better at the track. You know, I feel very off. I kind of have stuff in my mind right now about falling and crashing and everything, so I really need to get that out of my mind. That way I can start hitting jumps again and get comfy on the bike again. So it's definitely going to take time, but stay tuned. I'm excited. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. And yeah, welcome to the Kawasaki build. And that was the overview. So that overview, we're gonna go into, you know, part 1s, part 2s, part 3s until the bike is done and ready to go and get loaded up in the back of the truck and head to the track. So we have some awesome content. Hopefully we can get back into the swing of weekly uploads once I get parts moving and in and everything. And the bike build is going to start shortly, so stay tuned. I think hopefully by next week we'll have a first round of parts on the bike and a new video. And yeah, I know this one's kind of just a lot of talking, but appreciate y'all for sticking through it with me, and I promise that the content's going to be more exciting than me just talking. So yeah, stay tuned, smash the subscribe button, and we will see you ultimately in the next video. Stay tuned. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are too.